Welcome back to WWTA News. Welcome back. I've got another article I want to go over. But before I do, let me get you to hit that like button. And again, if there's anybody you know, family or friends that you think would be interested in this information, feel free to share it to them so that they can then see this stuff too. And they'll be in the know like you're in the know. All right, so let's just get on from that and move on to this information. So opt the transformative potential of tokenized assets. Transformative potential of tokenized assets. This article says broadening access to stocks, assets, and commodities is not always straightforward. However, the total value of all assets globally hit over 400 trillion in 2021. Yet many of these are liquid, hard to access, and difficult to trade. Some efforts to create liquidity for assets like mortgages, debt, and commodities were made in the 1980s, when these were transformed into securities, making it easier for investors to diversify their portfolios. Now, this is awesome, right? First off, when we talk about the crypto space, we're talking about less than a $2 trillion $2 trillion space, crypto space market, right? Only $2 trillion there. Now we're talking about globally, there's over $400 trillion worth of liquidity and assets, right, that are not on the blockchain yet. And so what do you mean? What I mean is a lot of these things, a lot of this liquidity, a lot of these assets, they're going to be brought onto the blockchain. And that's why all these cryptocurrencies are out there to make that happen. And all these different blockchains exist. They're going to be onboarding all this stuff so everybody's got everything digitally accessible. And that's when you're going to see, you're going to see the value of currencies jump as more assets and liquidity find its way on the blockchain. All right, so that's just that's amazing in itself right there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's amazing. That's truly amazing. All right, and then when we talk about these things being liquid, like they're talking about mortgages and debt. So when you make contracts via non-fungible token, when you put those things, because that's the same thing you're going to do with mortgages, you're going to turn them into non-fungible tokens, and then you're going to put them on the blockchain. And then those are assets and commodities, and even securities will be on the blockchain. You see what I'm saying? And so when those things are on the blockchain, that's their value on the blockchain. Can you imagine somebody putting a house on the blockchain and then selling it, which has already been done, and then they have that money on the blockchain, and they can either leave it on the blockchain or turn it into a currency and withdraw it and then use it in the system, which I doubt most people wouldn't directly do, because if you sold a house for like $250,000, you're not going to then turn it over into whatever your native currency is and then pull it out. You're probably going to turn that into a stable coin, right? That's going to hold its value, or you might turn half of that into Bitcoin or something. You're going to want to see that money grow, and you're not going to be moving it around, and you're not going to want to go take that to a bank when it's now in your possession and your ownership. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really see people jumping and say, "Oh, I sold my house. I'm going to go ahead and take this money off the blockchain and I'm going to put it in the bank." You know what I'm saying? It's possible. I just really can't see that off tops happening. All right, but let's continue. Using blockchain technology, any asset can be linked to a digital token, which represents its real-world value. This works equally for physical assets such as real estate or artworks, which we commonly see. And it says, as well as with less tangible resources such as stocks and bonds. This brings with it the potential to unify all asset classes and make them easily tradable in exchange for fiat or cryptocurrencies. Are you seeing the big picture here? Right? Are you seeing the big picture here? So what they're saying is all this stuff, right? Once it's on the blockchain, it's going to move around and be exchanged. There's no middleman. There's nobody stopping you, blocking you. There's no middleman. It's just business transactions. All of it's recordable, all of it's viewable, all of it's public information, but it's just business with nobody blocking you, right? If I got $250,000 worth of some cryptocurrencies and you selling your house for $250,000 and I want to buy your house, I got $250,000. I turn that into the currency of your choice that you accepted for payment, and then boom, I buy that house. Then I get my non-fungible token, which is the rights and the deed to that house, and then all I have to do is just go move into my house because I've now got the title and deed for it and it's ownership. It's mine. It's now my NFT in my wallet. There's my proof of it. And if I want to go have this information copied off or not even copied off, it's just shown, publicly notified to the county that I'm living in, that I'm now the owner, and so I can now pay taxes for it, I'll just go to the county clerk's office and I'll do all that because I've got the non-fungible token. I'm the holder of it, and you can see the transaction where I paid the original owner of that non-fungible token. Like I said, the transactions are public information. It's public blockchain. Just pull it up, boop, 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 boop. So that's why this is major. All right. This is, the future is right before you. All right, let's continue. Through tokenization, the laborious task of converting liquid, illiquid assets like property into cash is simplified significantly, as the trading parties only need a digital representation of the asset to establish ownership. Moreover, tokenization allows assets to be fractionalized, making it easier for investors to access resources that previously required considerable amounts of capital. Now, I'm going to tell you, way back in the day, for you young heads, this don't make no sense, don't pay me no mind. But for you people over 40, you can go on back 15, 20 years, you know what I'm saying, 30 years, and you be like, there was a time when you had to pay $15,000 and get yourself a broker to get into the stock market. For all you people that remember that, y'all remember that. Y'all know who y'all looking and saying, yeah, it was $15,000. And yeah, you had to have a broker to get into the stock market. So most people commonly used their 401ks, their jobs to be in the stock market because they didn't have $15,000 straight to just jump out there, and they didn't know no brokers to get involved in that stuff, right? So that was a separation, right? That was an unlevel playing field, because you had to be somebody and know somebody to get into that space. Them days is dead and over. When they put these stocks and bonds, when they tokenize them and make them not NFTs, then you can purchase that NFT, and that asset, that stock or bond, is now yours, and you're holding it in your wallet. So then therefore, there's no middleman telling you can't have it. You literally can get into that space because you are in the space of cryptocurrency. So this is major, and this is why you got to see the bigger picture. You got to see the bigger picture. Let's continue. By fractionating an asset into multiple digital tokens, investors can buy smaller fragments of a product and see their investment gain value in line with the overall asset. This is especially useful for objects such as valuable artworks and property, creating further liquidity on the market and opening access to significantly wider share of investors, right? So people can invest and put money into whatever your projects are, essentially, and your artwork is what they're really talking about, and then play a part, like even when you talk about owning apartment buildings, you know what I'm saying, you got to see the bigger picture here. All right, so look, I could just talk about this stuff for days, because when I talk about that NFT market, this is exciting. I don't think y'all really understand. Just think about that. Just imagine you wanting to be a shareholder of an apartment building, and you buy up tokenized, non-fungible tokenized amounts or shares of that building. Let's say that the owner of that building breaks that building into 5,000 shares that can be purchased on a blockchain. I don't know what their blockchain choice is. Maybe they use Solana, maybe they use Cardano. I don't know, but they use one of them. And then you now have the ability to go and buy those shares and then resell those shares, and you can be a shareholder of that apartment building. And then you can vote for things that you want to happen for that apartment building. Look, the bigger picture, you know what I'm saying? Like the bigger picture. I don't think y'all understand the bigger picture. The bigger picture. If the picture is big. So anyways, it's a lot to think about. I wanted to share that article. Y'all get to talking about it. Again, like the video if you like it. You know what I'm saying? Share it to family and friends so y'all can get to talking about this stuff and discussing what the future looks like, and then start making moves in that direction. Don't let nobody slow you down and stop you from making moves for your future, because right now the power is in your hands to mold your future, and there's nobody there to stop you. All right, to the next video.